What is up, guys? Delboy here. A quick preview for a fight that goes down on the undercard of Terence Crawford versus Amir Khan. And that bout is between Teofimo Lopez and Edis Tatli. Teofimo Lopez is, of course, one of the standout prospects in boxing. He's getting quite a lot of hype right now, and people expect big things from him. And I believe this Edis Tatli fight is a good fight for him at this stage of his career. To date, I do believe Top Rank are moving Teofimo Lopez in a good way. You know, his last couple of fights, for example, he's fought Mason Menard. Now, Mason Menard, don't get it twisted, he's a limited fighter, but he's a fighter who does come in there with ambition, and he does carry real punching power. You know, I felt that was a good step up for Teofimo Lopez at that time. And following that fight, Lopez then fought Diego Magdaleno, again a step up from Mason Menard. Diego Magdaleno, of course, challenging for 2 world titles in the past. And now he's fighting Edis Tatli. I believe Edis Tatli now is better than Diego Magdaleno. Edis Tatli has been operating at European level at lightweight for quite some time. You know, he's got a couple of good wins over the likes of Francesco Patera and Ivan Mendy. You know, Tatli has been operating at that level for a long time. He's been ranked in governing bodies for years, and actually he is a former world title challenger. He ran Richard Abril close back in 2014. He lost that fight by a majority decision. So Tatli, he's an experienced guy. He's a guy who showed he can operate at a decent level. And yeah, I believe it's another good step up for Teofimo Lopez. I do believe Lopez going into this fight, he's far too dynamic. He punches too hard. He's too fresh. And he's coming off a lot of momentum. So I do believe he's going to win this fight. But I am intrigued to see how he looks doing it. Nobody's ever really beat Tatli clear. His 2 defeats are to Patera and Richard Abril. You know, both of those fights were close. He lost to Patera by a split decision and beat him in the rematch. And he lost to Richard Abril by a majority decision. So nobody's beat this guy clearly. And like I said, he's been operating at a good level for quite some time. Also, Edis Tatli, he's kind of different to what Teofimo Lopez has faced so far. Edis Tatli, he's a guy who likes to keep it at range. He likes to pop that jab. He'll try and find that right hand. He can get low. He can move his head. And he's good moving backwards. So maybe we see Teofimo Lopez have to chase a fight. In his last couple of fights against Magdaleno and Mason Menard, they came right to him, giving him the opportunities to land those big power shots. If Edis Tatli fights on the back foot, almost in a negative way, how does Teofimo Lopez look? Will he look worse for that, or can he cut off a ring, close the distance, and still look effective? I do believe Edis Tatli, he will pose a few different questions from Teofimo Lopez. Again, I expect Lopez to win. I think he will have way too much. I don't think Tatli can keep Lopez off of him for 12 rounds, but I'm just intrigued to see how good Lopez looks in this fight. Because like I said, Tatli is no bum. He's a good European level fighter, and he's proved that over the last 4 to 5 years. I believe this is a good fight for Teofimo Lopez's development because, you know, as he steps up, guys are not always going to fight the way he wants them to fight. Sometimes guys will make him take the lead. Sometimes guys will make him take the initiative. And we're yet to see how good Lopez looks doing that. So, yeah, I expect Tatli to pose a few different questions for Lopez. Ones we've not seen him answer yet. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm not saying he won't look good. But I'm intrigued to see how he looks. And, yeah, a good bit of matchmaking by Top Rank, in my opinion. And if he can blast out Edis Tatli, I will be very impressed, I've got to say. I do believe Tatli will take him a few rounds, and I think Lopez will need to figure him out. Because also Tatli not the biggest puncher, he's more of a boxer, and he is very used to going 12 rounds. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised if we see Lopez have to figure him out in the first few rounds. And yeah, providing, let's say Lopez blasts this guy out of there, like I said, I will be very impressed. And if that does happen, maybe it's time to step Lopez up with the likes of a Jose Pedraza, a former world champion, somebody like that. But yeah, interesting step-up fight for Teofimo Lopez. I like the kid. I think he's got real talent. I like his punching power. I like his aggression, his athletic ability. But there are still a few questions that need to be asked. And this could highlight maybe potential flaws. I believe it's one of those type of fights. Share your thoughts below. Peace.